The level of lies and the blame game going on in Russia at the moment is quite astonishing. The other day, Anton Krasovsky was suspended from RT. Now, RT is this very strange semi-international program funded by the Kremlin, and indeed I've done some interviews for it in the past, and I have friends who work there still, I think. But it is a scurrilous propaganda machine. And every time I have any dealings with it, I'm made fully aware that this is something that is extremely dodgy. Now, I'm incredibly indebted to George of Ireland, my friend George, and he made a video, I think, earlier today or last night, and he pointed out something which I just hadn't taken it in. And that is that Anton Krasovsky was suspended. He wasn't sacked for calling for children, Ukrainian children who criticize the Russian occupation, to be thrown in rivers, to be drowned, this is, as George points out, this is a call for genocide. And the head of RT is a lady called Margarita Simonian, and she has said, "I'm suspending our cooperation for the time being. Neither I nor the RT collective can allow it to cross anyone's mind that any of us would share such savagery." But the point is, such savagery has indeed been done, as George points out. It is a savage and a brutal regime, controlled in so many ways by terrorists, whether from the Wagner brigade or from the Chechens. Terrorists and mercenaries, thugs, who do not think twice about butchery and savagery, as we saw from the scenes in Bucha, as we've seen so often since then. And Russia's response is to feed propaganda through organs like RT to suggest that it's Ukraine that is the butcher, that Ukraine is the one who has been targeting civilian structures. What utter tosh! By their fruits ye shall know them. The damage done is Russian. The brutality is Russian. The aggressor is Russian. The neo-Nazis are Russian. The fascism is Russian. Everything else, again, George points out brilliantly that there was a deal. There was a negotiated deal on the table, negotiated by Erdogan way back in the spring. And Russia rejected it. And now Russia is claiming that Ukraine is walking away from negotiations. With good reason, because the negotiations are expected to be on Russia's terms. Russia doesn't deserve to have those terms. The negotiation which Erdogan presided over in the spring would actually have been very beneficial to Russia. But that's not on the table anymore. Russia rejected it. And Russia is now grasping at straws for what little it can claim it has achieved in Ukraine. And meanwhile inflicting as much damage as it possibly can, and continuing to peddle propaganda and lies like there's no tomorrow. These lies are going to come back to haunt Putin and his cronies again and again and again.